another Junk Journal July episode of prompts. So the 18th was supposed to be free, but I accidentally did it on the 20th. And when I thought of the prompt free, I immediately thought of Martin Luther King Jr. and this particular speech. With this faith, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. And I love that song. So if I was going to talk about that song, then I was going to, in my mind, I had to talk about all of that. Having said all of that, the fact that recently I've been talking about how I want to insert more history into my junk journaling. So I did, I've always had nothing but good thoughts about this person in time, Martin Luther King Jr. But it's so interesting about how we can go, in my case, about 63 years of life and not think about or be cognizant of the whole story. And during this time, this person and other people were very anti-war during the Vietnam War period. Now, I know the bad stories about the Vietnam War, but I also know that soldiers who didn't do anything wrong were lumped in with soldiers who maybe did do something wrong. And I'm gonna just really go out there and say, I don't think it was just during that period that soldiers did things wrong. For instance, the war that's going on right now because the Palestinians attacked Israel. So now people are dying, women are getting raped again, just like has happened in history before now. And it doesn't have to be, just Americans. It doesn't have to just be white, black, purple, brown, whatever color, the person may be. It has to do with one common denominator, and that is evil. So with that, we want to pray for all of God's children. And there's an act. Okay, hang on for just a minute. Did I show you my new spotter? Okay, I think he's gone. Anyways, so I am not, I don't want there to be a war, but I wouldn't call myself anti-war. I believe in sticking up for yourself, whether it's just one person against a bully or several people against several bullies. It's all about bad versus evil. Okay, so that's enough said about that, but I just wanted to bring that up. Also, I believe he was into socialism, and I am not into socialism. So that's something I read when I was studying the history. It's very important to study the history. Plus, I want to mention right here that I don't idolize anybody. I don't idolize movie stars, and if I ran into a movie star, I would not ask them for their autograph. I really don't care. Now, if they make a good show, then I'd like to watch the good show. If it's a good-looking man, I might tell my husband, that's a good-looking man. But I don't idolize anybody, and I have only one God. So let's move on. to this. So what I was thinking about doing for this was I'm going to take this CD holder that has been coffee dyed, and I'm going to use that as a window for the picture. And I'm going to hinge this onto the page. So because I'm going to hinge it, I had to fold it down so it would fit on this small page. And because I'm going to hinge it, you'll be able to see the back side. So I'm going to cover the back side. Still fighting the fan. Politics isn't always a real popular topic, as well as religion and that sort of thing. But I always say that this is a real channel. This isn't a political channel. This isn't a religious channel. This is a real channel. And I'm a real person. And I do have real beliefs and convictions and that sort of thing. And sometimes they get thought of. Like one thing we all talk about in regards to our convictions is our love for junk journaling. Man, we preach that all day long to anybody who'll listen. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about your other likes and dislikes. Now, yeah, it may lose you some viewers. Hi, what's your name, Creative Paper Studio? I've seen your channel and I've watched your videos, but I don't remember what your name is. So I was just saying that sometimes talking about things that other people don't agree with might lose you some viewers. For instance, like when it has to do with junk journaling. If you like to use digitals, there's some people who will, that believe you should only use, junk for junk journaling. And so they might, get mad. And I've read some things where they kind of sound like they're not happy. Hi Cassie, nice to meet you. Thanks for dropping in. I'm having a heart-to-heart talk right now. Anyways, if somebody goes onto somebody's YouTube channel, like if they went on Cassie's channel and they were criticizing her for how long her video was going, or that she's using digitals, or some silly thing like that, I would make a comment. And I would criticize them back for the YouTuber that the channel belongs to, because not always do YouTubers like to stick up for themselves. That's not me, of course. I'm happy to say stuff, but some of these YouTubers, this is their business. They're trying to sell products sometimes, like digitals, and this is something that they're trying to make a living at. So they try not, it's like if you come into a grocery store and you tell the cashier that her perfume stinks, she should be relatively, polite, because she works for the person who you're buying stuff from. Maybe not. Maybe that wasn't a good example, but it's all I had at the moment. And so, anyways, but even though I tried to sell some of my stuff so that I can have more room, being I live in an RV, I am no way dependent on anything that I might sell in regards to YouTube. I have a very successful business. And even them, I tell them at the beginning, I'll treat you respectfully if you don't treat me respectfully. Not in these words, naturally, but we're not going to have a good business relationship. So you have the right to fire me, and I have the right to fire you, basically, is what I tell them. Okay, so now because I put this little bit of brown paper here, we have a journaling spot. And I still want to take my dauber and just tone down some of that white. Okay. Now, we need a picture. I forgot to get a picture. I was very focused on trying to get rid of this gnats before I start my videos so that I wasn't swatting at gnats. Yes, please ask me a question, Cassie. This is a nice picture. Is that big enough? That would be really cool if that was big enough. I'd rather have a nice family than a Catholic priest. I think that's a Catholic priest. I don't know. Okay, let's give this a try. I know. I see that. Okay, so I use, I'm looking at it and I'm not flashing at it because the gnat is distracting me. I use, what do I use? Creative Studio. When I look at it, it doesn't tell me, but anyways, it's an application that you pay for. I think you can have a free trial version, but I use that, and at first it wouldn't let me go live, and then whenever I look at YouTube, I've read the same thing, that you have to have 1,000, and then there was a time when it was telling me that I could only schedule my lives. I couldn't go instantly live. And so I was having to schedule them for a short period back in, like, what is this? It's July, May, might have been May, sometime late May maybe. I was having to schedule a few of my videos, and then I'd schedule it as soon as possible, and it'd make me schedule it out like by 15 minutes or so. And so I just, work on my camera, make sure it's right, and that, everything's in the right position and all that stuff. And then by then, that was okay. I waited, and it would go live, and I'd go on my merry way. Now I'm back to just being able to go live right away again. So I said a lot, and I didn't answer your question because I really don't know the answer to your question. It might be because I use this application, Creative Studio. What in the world is it? Let me look. Not there. Switcher Studio is what it's called. So I use Switcher Studio, and it cost me about $500, I think, a year. And I originally started using it because I was trying to get a Stampin' Up card making business going, and I was really trying to work on getting my YouTube channel going and get more customers and all that fun stuff. And I'm not doing that now, but I still let my company absorb the cost of this software, because I can do podcasts and stuff like that with it for my business. So, and because you're new, I do have what's called familiar trimmers. And so that's why you see all the shaking. I'm trying to do something fussy. Oh, yeah, that's gonna look cute. Now, there's a little bit too much right there. Okay, let's see. I gotta think about this. No. Okay. Let's tear a little more off. Yeah, anytime you have any questions, please ask. If I've got the answer, I'll answer. If not, I'll maybe try to answer, or maybe send you in the right direction. Sure thing. Okay, so there it is, and this is picture. So now I need to take some of this and cover this up. Yeah, I was actually, I've been watching your series, Cassie. By the way, you do a great job. And I almost watched one today, but it was on a craft haul or something. And I have made a promise to myself to not make any craft purchases in July. And I'm pretty sure I will carry that into August, because I do have a lot of stuff. I would love a lot more stuff, but that's not practical. So I didn't watch your video because I was afraid it would be a temptation. Because you play with some fun stuff, don't you? So anyways, if you're another viewer and you're listening to this conversation, I am talking to Cassie with Creative Paper Studio, and she spells creative with a K. You're gonna want to go check out her YouTube channel because she does a really good job. Okay, now how can we embellish this cute little thing? Let me get my pen in so things don't dry up. Let's think. Something little. Is there anything little in here? It's kind of cute. Sure thing, Cassie. So this is just a scrap piece of fabric that I had in my little scrap box. I have a couple other areas that have scraps, and I'll organization for today. So this is my little place that is in a drawer that is right in front of me, and I keep it right there along with some fabric scraps and then my pens and pencils. So then I have, this is the next level of scraps. And so these are all, you know, about journal card size or smaller. There may be some strips in there, but I believe I have my strips somewhere else, and I was looking for them yesterday and I couldn't find them, so I have to get better about where I put them. But then the next level of scraps that I have is, I have those accordion type storage folders that have like maybe 8 different spots for you to put papers, and I put my printed out digitals in there by creator, like Roxy's Creations, Medieval Mirage, Tracy Fox, so on and so forth. And if I have bigger pieces of scraps, like say, you know, something that was torn and this big, they would go in with the full-size digitals. Or sometimes, if I'm in the middle of a journal, like this is for, excuse me, Crafty Christmas in July, then those scraps go in here in my ephemera box. And then I also might have an ephemera book that goes with my ephemera box that has the ephemera in it for the current journal that I'm working on. Well, that's the thing, Cassie. I am a strong believer that if you've got a scrap hanging out, like this is my desk trash. Not this. That's just kind of hanging out right there because I don't have any place to put it. This is me trying to make a roller for mixed media jelly prints. So that's kind of a little experiment that I got going on. But everything else in here, except for my emery file, is trash. Now, you know that somebody is going to say, oh my gosh, I could never throw that away. Or, look, no, that's not very big. Look at the size of that scrap right there. You know, most people would not be able to throw that away, or a lot of people wouldn't. Or they'd say, oh, that's a good strip. Can't throw that away. And I say, yes, you can. So right now it's going in the trash can, all of it. And I have a nice empty trash box for my desk. Ow, 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 ow. That didn't feel good. I just jammed my finger. Okay, you go back there, and every board can go back there for just a minute. Now, some of these are little, but I've been using them because I put them right into this little box right here that I made. I've been using them. So this has been almost flown over, and I keep it to the point. Now this one is a little envelope, and I'm almost tired of it. I'm almost ready to throw it away. So instead of doing that, why don't I just put that right here for decoration? Let's do that. really took some of the bulk out of this little box. And I had been eyeing this piece earlier, and I thought it would be kind of cute. To just kind of throw down there. Oh, I know what I'm going to do with it. This is what I want to do. Okay, I want to put glue to here. And glue that down solid. Oh, thanks, Cassie. I'll take that as a compliment, Vince. How long have you had your channel, Cassie? Because you do a good job. So I'm using this as to keep my envelope closed. So then I can open my envelope, and I didn't wait for the glue to dry, so it wanted to come up on me, but then I can close my envelope. And so now I just need a little bling. That stuff does not like to cut or tear. I just wanted a little bling right there. Years. I think I've had mine longer, but I've only started making consistent videos or consistent content since I think around Junk Journal January 2025 will be 2 years. I think. If not, it'll be 3 years. But I think, I know I've done Junk Journal July twice now. I know I've done Junk Journal January once. I'll have to look. But when I did Junk Journal January 2020, I'm pretty sure it was 2023, my numbers went up. And that's because I did a video almost every day of January. And I was like, okay, this is what I've got to do. I can't just willy-nilly this thing. And back then I had yet, well, maybe I've decided to give up Stampin' Up. But after you do this for a little bit consistently, you kind of get addicted to it. And if you don't make a video, you start kind of jonesing to make a video. I've done everything that I want to do to this. Oh, we don't have a label. Let's put a label down. Well, I really like your series. I'm going to use love because this family looks like love. So you're printing out, Cassie? Are you making a journal, or are you just getting ready for your next video? Okay, we're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to, let's see, today is the 20th, so this is actually the 20th. Let's see. This is picture. And this is actually the 20th. And then Martin Luther is actually, that was the 18th. 3 was the 18th. Yes. Okay. Oh, right there, day 18 free. Okay. So we're all caught up. It's getting chunky. So the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to show you my next journal. So this is a new journal debut. There I go trying to say words that I can't pronounce. It's French. Debut. D-E. My new journal. Oh, thank you. Cool. What do you have a theme for the new journal or anything? Okay, this is just a big tag that I made previously, and I thought it would go well with this journal. Now this tag is using digital right here. This is digital. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And this is digital. But for the most part, in the rest of the journal, I'm not doing any digitals. This is all what I'll call real ephemera. Shabby chic. Okay, so I have not sewn the signature in yet, but I took, what did I take? Some box, maybe a Pepsi box, I don't know. Something that has this type of cardboard to it, and I exposed all of this, and then I used probably sprays for this, Tim Holtz sprays, and then I made this cluster with some fabric that I had and some thread, and there's some texture here, some texture paste, and we probably got some cheesecloth under here, and then one of these from Prima Flowers. Then I put a vintage button here, and when I sewed it, I was just inspired to kind of do something weird and crazy like this. And it looks like this on the inside. And then on this side, not ready for you yet. On this side, I've got 2 eyelets and some elastic so that will form the closure. So it closes that way. And then because I was worried that this bend of this paper might start to get weak on me and rip, I reinforced it thought is that this is a writing board. Usually I will make my writing boards flat, that's the best way. But I've excuse me, found this in my stuff, and I just wanted to use this as the writing board for this journal. And so if you turn it over, it is a little rough on this side, but I think it's still better than trying to write on some of the roughness. Yeah, maybe not. I might be wrong. But anyways, that's my thought right now. It's not a foolproof thought. Okay, so that'll go to the back of there. So let's just do a flip through, even though it's not sewn in. This page here is a tea-dyed sheet of paper that I stamped and I glued tissue on. And then I did some spritzing. Oh, I also did some stamping with embossing, heat embossing. This is just some graph paper that I actually begged Rachel from Roxy's Creations for. Hi Patricia, thank you. I'm glad that you do like the fabric I did. And so Patricia meet Cassie, and Cassie meet Patricia, unless of course the two of you know each other already. This is a partial piece of cabbage dyed paper. This is tacking paper that I glued one of my jelly prints on. This jelly print was done with wet strength tissue paper. Here's some more, another one of my wet strength tissue paper gel prints that I have. This one, I took pieces from other gel prints and I tore them up and I kind of collaged it onto here. So this is a piece, this is a separate piece, and this is a separate piece. I just wanted to see what it would look like to layer wet strength tissue jelly prints. This is from an old Italian book that I did some ink to paper with using Tim Holtz distressed ink. There I have it much darker. Sorry, it was a bit out of screen there. Let me go back just in case. Okay, so there's that. And that piece. And the cabbage dyed piece. And that piece. On packing paper. And the book page. And this is a grid page from a pad that I bought from Stampin Up that you use in the stamp, the Stamparatus. More packing paper. This is a piece of fabric from a bag that I got some slippers in. This is a vintage envelope from Italy. This is a vintage magazine page. More packing paper. This is a vintage invoice page. Also from Italy, Bologna. Is there a date on this? This is from 1945. Then this is a piece of tissue paper that came in a craft pack that I bought from Vanessa with Crafty Clemens or Clemens Crafting. Always forget. And so the plan with this is that half of this or part of this tissue paper will wrap around like this to reinforce this tear and also to form a pocket. So I haven't decided if I want the pocket to be a top loading pocket or a side loading pocket. I'm leaning towards top, but I haven't decided yet. Or I may just make this the pocket and just glue this all down. And so that's the middle, that was the middle of the signature. These are going to be pockets. And this is, excuse me, has a window, so I can put something in there. That will be fun to see. Hi, Diane. Diane says she loves junk journals and great deal thrifting. So did you go thrifting today, Diane? Is that what you're saying? I'm just going to leave that in there for now. This one has a date of so it's 26.3. That's not a date. I don't think that's a date. I don't know. And that's the other side of my little bag that I cut up, that I got my slippers in. Boy, Diane, you came in with just all kinds of enthusiasm. Love to see that. So I think this will get clipped. I might clip it up here like this. Maybe like that. Because I think these are too small. Maybe not. Not really. Yeah, it would have to be up here. Okay, well, so then when the signature is in there, this elastic comes over here. And it does pull on the papers, but I think when I tap it down, the papers will go in a little bit more. But this is my second try. It is my second try, but this isn't complete, and this try isn't complete either. This is my Junk Journal Madness journal, and it was my first try to not use digitals. But, you know, this is digitals here, and then this is scrapbook paper. But just about everything in here is all original ephemera. So this was my first try. And I think, wasn't this piece here from you, Diane? Diane, did you send me Happy Mail? And you sent me this cute little book. Glad to hear your granddaughter is with you under your loving care and that she's in good spirits. Slight fever and constant runny nose. That sounds pretty typical for how a little one handles the virus. So yeah, this was my first attempt, and so far this one has no digitals except for what is on the writing board at the back. Yeah, I think it was you too. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. Thanks guys for stopping by. I hope that I was able to